Hey, good morning, everybody. Today we are looking at Mark chapter 6, and we are actually looking at one of the most famous miracles that Jesus ever performed. It's so famous that other than the resurrection, this is the only miracle that's recorded in all four of the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Now, earlier in this chapter, we find out that Jesus had been modeling for the disciples how to go from village to village and preach and heal. And then he sends them out 2 by 2 to do exactly the same thing. It was kind of like a modern day internship. And so after they returned from their internship, it was a very exciting time, as you might expect. They had had a lot of success. A lot of people's lives had been changed, had been affected. And so Jesus sees that they're tired and that they probably just need some time with him to debrief. So we find in chapter 6, verse 31, he says, "Let's go off by ourselves to a quiet place and rest a while." He said this because there were so many people coming and going that Jesus and his apostles didn't even have time to eat. He wanted to go away to be with them. However, there were so many people. And so, as often happens, so much for the time of rest, huh? I'm sure you've had that happen. You're exhausted, you need rest, but you can see that it just isn't going to happen. So there are needs, and God and a little bit of caffeine will supply everything that you need, and you're just going to have to press on through. So in verse 34, we pick it up again. It says, Jesus saw the huge crowd as he stepped from the boat, and he had compassion on them because they were like sheep without a shepherd. So he began teaching them many things. So Jesus teaches on and on and on, and it becomes late afternoon, and it's dinner time. And the disciples know that, hey, we don't have enough food to feed these folks. In fact, it says there were 5,000 men, not counting the women and children. And so they tell Jesus, okay, Jesus, it's time to shut it down. Send him home. Send him home. But Jesus says this amazing thing that I'm sure just inflicted terror inside of the disciples. He says, no, you feed him. Mark 6:37 shows what the disciples said. It says, with what, they asked, we'd have to work for months to earn enough money to buy food for all of these people. And then Jesus asks them the question of the day. Mark 6:38, he says, well, how much bread do you have? How much food do you have? He says, go find out. Jesus knew that the people's needs were far beyond the disciples' resources, and the disciples knew it very well too. But Jesus teaches a great lesson. How much do you have? Let's start there. I'm pretty sure that as they took inventory, they were focusing on what they don't have rather than what they do have. That's the way most of us think. And they came back and told Jesus, well, we have 5 loaves of bread and we have a couple fish. Clearly, it was not sounding like enough. But Jesus said, here's the key. If God wants you to do it, he will provide what you need. You know, I probably need to hear that again. If God wants you to do it, he will provide what you need. I admit that I need to hear that over and over and over and over again, even though I have experienced many times how good God is and how he provides many times. It's just not logical. It still seems kind of crazy. So Jesus takes what they have and he blesses it. He offers it up. He gives thanks. And Mark tells us what happened very succinctly in verses 42, 43, and 44. He says, then they all ate as much as they wanted, and afterward the disciples picked up 12 baskets of leftover bread and fish. A total of 5,000 men and their families were fed from those loaves. Wow. Everybody had their fill, and they were more than satisfied. There were even leftovers. So what do you do when God asks you to do something you know you can't do? Ever been there? Here are some words from a song that was written back in 1977 by an artist by the name of Keith Green. And it's something that I always remember. This is the words of the song. He said, "Give it your best, pray that it's blessed, and trust Him to take care of the rest." So today, go and thank God, even in the midst of that project that you know is impossible. But if God wants you to do it, if God wants you to get it done, He will provide. Give it your best, pray that it's blessed, and He'll take care of the rest. Go and have an amazing day.
If these devotional videos are helpful to you, subscribe to our channel and click the notification button so you know when we post a new video. And of course, please share them with others.